We're going to move on to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis Grizzlies had finally some news this week that we've been waiting for a long time. And Luke Kennard is back in Memphis, signed a 1-year, $11 million deal just this week. It was reported by Woj Bomb day before yesterday, and it dropped yesterday about mid-morning. It's a good thing I was sitting down at a work meeting because I was pretty fired up. As you probably saw if you follow me on Twitter, it was a great day for Old Buckets on Twitter yesterday. Getting Luke Kennard back on the team. It's fired up, man. Drew, what were your early thoughts looking at that contract?
Well, first, I was excited to see he's on the team. He is the best 3-point shooter in the NBA. I don't understand the discourse. Okay,
tell me about it, man.
Give me people are crazy, and I've got beef with you too about it. So I'm going to get there. But I love it. I've wanted it to happen the whole time. I told you last week it was going to happen. It just made no sense that it wasn't going to happen. Mm-hmm. We talked on Luke's show that I've had a dozen different thoughts as to why it hasn't happened. Mm-hmm. You know, it turns out Tyus Jones was possibly coming, and then the Zaire Williams thing maybe was holding it up. Then it finally just happened, kind of dropped out of the blue, out of nowhere. And I'm just really stoked that it happened. I think that it is a great sign. I think it's a great tool to have around around Ja Morant, where you can kick and he can shoot to the greatest person in the world.
Yeah, he also pretty baby girl there. He also can beef up our second line and be like a floor general, run the point if we need him to. He's a great shooter. He makes our second team that much more lethal and our bench that much deeper. Let it be known. Yes, I talked about some trade scenarios with his contract, but I am fired up and I want Luke Kennard on this team. Like I said on Luke's show on Thursday, I want him on this team because he makes us better. He shoots better, makes us better in the half court. And with this deal, we have the opportunity to re-sign him again next year with the restructured deal to help us pay Tripp to keep him. I'm all for Luke staying on Beale Street. I ain't trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, well, I have a hard time believing that, Rusty, because the first thing you said was, this is a perfect contract to trade. And I was it may be true. It's true.
It is. Thank you.
Let me
it's not mutually exclusive.
I got in the comment section on Thursday with you and Luke, and I was just like, Luke Kennard is never going to feel stable in Memphis. The dude can't even buy a house. He gets traded here. And so then the first time his contract is up, they're like, okay, well, we're going to let this last until August. And then we're going to sign you for 1 year, just knowing that you are going to be an expiring contract, which is the most valuable thing that teams who are trying to jump ship in the middle of the season want. That's all they want is expiring deals. And so it just stinks. And it's like, it quells my own excitement because I've been all offseason like, re-sign Luke. He's a 45% 3-point shooter. Re-sign Luke. That's all I want. Re-sign Luke. And for them to only sign him to like this what's the lame duck contract, So it's just like, what are you going to do? Like, obviously you're going to have to either do this again next year or trade him.
I get it. And I like the idea of Luke being here. Again, 45% 3-point shooter. Guy just doesn't miss. He's lethal from beyond the arc. He makes us better in the half court. We're going to be a lot better in the half court when some of the guys come back from injury, and Luke only makes us better. So again, don't hear what I'm not saying. I want Luke in Memphis, and this is not mutually exclusive. I want Luke in Memphis. I want him to stay. That's also a really good contract to pair with a John Conchard to get an $18 million wing that we can send off on 2 expiring deals to a team that may be tanking and that has a guy that can score that might fit what we need, or has a big that might fit what we need should the opportunity arise. But don't get me wrong. I want Luke to retire at Grizz. He makes us better because he can shoot so well.
I've got a theory that I believe an $18 million wing, more times than not, is a trash wing in this market. The market obviously just wasn't there for Luke, and I honestly don't know how hard that they seeked out another team either, because soon as the news broke that they were not picking up his contract, the wording in the same tweet was they're going to look to have another deal,
right? To re-sign.
But he re-signed for less money.
Yeah.
Like less money per year. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
Again, I think it's trying to be team friendly. Like this, I don't know what's going on. Chef Kleiman's cooking up something. It could be a thing that it's like, hey, we're going to pay you $11 million this year, give you 1 year. Let us see how the season goes. We've got to re-sign Tripp because he's going to be an unrestricted free agent after the 25-26 season. We've got to do something there to get him back. Let's see how everything shakes out.
That.
Maybe we move somebody, like we lose Jitty and Santi and some other money, move it around, and then we take care of him next offseason, giving him a longer deal.
Yeah, and I get that. But all the risk in that situation is on Luke.
Sure.
What if he blows out his knee? His career's over. Sure. Like I don't know why Luke takes that deal. At least let me expire. Like, write out the whatever he was making, 13 or 14, and just let it end after next season. We're in the same spot.
It just shows that we are deathly afraid of the first apron, like every other NBA team.
You don't want to be tied
that first apron, yes,
and you don't want to be exactly under it by dollar.
Exactly. So we're just under $5 million short of it now. We have an open roster spot. We're 15 something million, 18 million below the second apron. We've got plenty of breathing room there. Should something need to happen, and like I said, probably gonna have 2 open roster spots because I doubt that Diakite is part of this team when we tip off in October.
I'd be shocked if he was.
So we've got some wiggle room. Like we've got ourselves some breathing room, which will help. Because I don't care what these delusional fans on Twitter are saying. I think this is a very competitive championship level team. We're a year away from 56 and 51 wins. Like you and I have said numerous times across multiple shows on here. People want to argue, you can argue with a wall about that this guy was coming at me a little bit like, no, we never won an NBA championship, but you're a clown if you think that we weren't. Like injuries in the Warriors series and DB suspension, injuries in the Lakers series really made those series different. Because if we're fully healthy, that's we're having a whole different conversation now. Because especially that Warriors year, if Ja doesn't get hurt and DB doesn't get suspended, we beat the Warriors to go to the Western Conference Finals.
If Ja doesn't get hurt and DB gets suspended for the rest of the series, we win that.
We still go to the Western Conference Finals. Very true.
Yeah, so, it was confusing to me, and I just didn't really get it from Luke's side, and I just really want him long term. But I get everything you're saying. I get the tax implications, the aprons. I get all that. If it were me, and you're offering me that deal, I'm probably just like, nah. I need 2 years. The stability,
At least give me an option. Let's put an option.
Yeah, give me an option, or you have the option to pick me up. But I don't want to be an unrestricted free agent next year.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I think it's still I know you understand this, but for our viewers at home, I do think that this is another like Scottie Pippen case where it's like, hey, we're going to take care of you in the right time. Like, let's see how it goes. We're going to take care of you. I think in Kleiman, I trust. He takes care of his guys. I feel good about it, especially if Luke goes out and shoots like Luke always shoots. He's going to be well taken care of.